handle this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PCS. Good morning, everybody. Gordon Morgan. I would have continued in German, but I know there are too many people here who don't understand it. But let me first say I'm very happy to be in Berlin this morning because of a program and a project that is very dear to me, a program about finding opportunities for Kenyans abroad. Just in context, from diaspora, we raise close to $4.5 billion every year. And the hardworking people of Kenya around the world are doing us proud and keeping the flag of our country flying high wherever they are. Our Kenyan human capital, and I speak about it very proudly and very often, is the best resource we have. It is our gold, it's our oil, it is the asset that we have as a country, our Kenyan human capital. It is the reason why I have gone out of my way to make sure that we sharpen that human capital. It is the reason why we have hired 56,000 teachers in the last 2 years, the highest in the history of Kenya, because we want to give every Kenyan child a chance to get education, because the best way to sharpen and to make good our human capital is to make sure that they get the correct knowledge, they get the correct education, they get the opportunity for training, and they get an opportunity to acquire knowledge and skills. It is the reason we have expanded money going to our TVETs and money going to our universities. It is the reason why we are having a very big conversation in Kenya on higher education funding, university funding, because I consider the opportunity for Kenyans to get education, knowledge, and training a very important opportunity. And because knowledge and training and education is important to us, I said earlier this morning that we spend about $5 billion every year in the education of our citizens. It is the reason why we increased by about 120 billion shillings, almost $900 million, our education budget. And because we are developing our human capital, and I'm saying this in the context of why I came for this Citizens Festival, against the background of us signing the comprehensive immigration and mobility, labor mobility partnership agreement. It is because we must keep our focus on using the best asset that we have, our human capital, to drive our progress and to drive our economy. It is the reason why among the things that are important to us as a nation today is how do we create opportunities for the millions of young people who come out of college, who come out of school, who come out of our universities to get jobs. And I will give you 5 interventions that we are working with. Amongst them, the one we're going to have a conversation about here. It is the reason why we have, for example, starting with our housing program. Our housing program today creates 160,000 jobs. 160,000 Kenyans who were not working 2 years ago, they are working today in our housing plan. Real people. I went to inspect the housing program, I think it was on Monday, in Kibra. And it's amazing the number of people, the number of young people. And when I talked to some of them, they were telling me that because we've worked here for a year, we want the recognition of prior learning. We've acquired skills here. How do we get papers so that when we move to the next project, we are not being hired as casuals, we are being hired as skilled labor because we have acquired skills. It is the reason why we are working with UNIDO and others, working on our county aggregation industrial parks. It is the reason why we have new 5 special economic zones and export processing zones that will tap into creating opportunities for employment for export of textiles, of agro-processed goods, and we are looking at opportunities on how to expand jobs in that space. It is the reason why, number 3, under our digital superhighway program, we are expanding our digital hubs. Majority of our activities today have a digital hub. We have close to 140,000 young people in our activities today who are working online. I was very, very impressed when I went to one of our activities, and I was telling the German Chancellor yesterday, when I went to one of our activities, and I found a young man there called Brian, and he said, Mr. President, I am working for an AI company in Germany. And this is Brian, who has not even been to Nairobi. He even doesn't have a passport. But he's working for an AI company, and we are yet even to pass AI regulations in our parliament. But he's already way ahead, you know? He's already way ahead. The conversation we were having this week was how we are going to work with Parliament so that we can begin to find a regulatory framework for artificial intelligence, because we have so much benefit coming out of artificial intelligence, how we can leverage on it to make sure that we have all that we need, but also it comes with fake news, misinformation, disinformation. How do we manage that? Because it undermines, you know, the benefits of technology. And number 4 is export of labor. We have re-engineered the National Employment Authority. Earlier this morning, we had the CEO, the grand lady there whom I recently gave the job to work as the CEO of our National Employment Authority. And they are doing now a wonderful job. It was a moribund organization. It was an almost dead organization. We have put in new energy into the organization, and they are helping us reorganize that whole space around labor migration, making sure that we are organized. I know in our midst, you can sit down, I know in our midst here we have agencies that deal with export of labor. We've had a serious problem with corruption and confusion in that space, and we've had to exit, I think, close to 500 companies, agencies that were doing the wrong things. And we will continue to weed out the crooks and the people who are less than straight who are taking advantage of jobless people in Kenya, so that we align it with what we think as a country we can get from the international labor market. And to make sure that that space is organized, apart from organizing ourselves and the institutions in Kenya, Mr. Mushangi there, who is the chairman of the Labor Committee in Parliament, now has the Labor Migration Bill that we are working on to provide again another, legal and institutional capacity for us to manage matters labor properly. We are also establishing the Diaspora Placement Agency under our State Department, again, to make that whole exercise seamless. And it is the reason why when the president of Germany came to Kenya last year, and I had a conversation with him, and in having a one-on-one with him, he told me, Mr. President, we have a labor crisis in Germany. We need close to between 250 and 300,000 people, skilled laborers, semi-skilled labor in Germany. And it's because of that conversation that we started this endeavor. I called the ministry, I detailed Rosalind here, and we've gone through the motions back and forth. How many you've come to Germany how many times? So many. Yes? Yeah. So there's been a back and forth between our teams, and yesterday became the climax when we could actually sign off this comprehensive migration and labor mobility partnership that will provide, and this is just for Germany. We are negotiating for another maybe almost 19 countries on how we want to make sure that there's a formal way that Kenyans can work, so that we can also protect Kenyans who come and work here. There must be a framework where we make sure that nobody takes advantage of them. They are paid what is due to them. They are treated in the manner in which they should be, because in the absence of an agreement, it becomes difficult to enforce. So that agreement will give us the opportunity to enforce the requirements of the law in this country, as we also jointly do it in Kenya. It will also give us the opportunity to make sure that there are no abuses of Kenyans and nobody takes advantage of our country. And as I said earlier, it is my belief that as we train, as we give exposure to more Kenyans to work in manufacturing entities here, in factories here, in different sectors here. I remember yesterday in the press conference, I told Chancellor Scholz that we are giving you our labor now, but in a few years, I am sure that your industries will be moving to Kenya. And I am asking those people who have an opportunity to work in these manufacturing entities and all the other sectors to have in focus that the skills you are acquiring, the experience you are getting will one day be necessary for us to use them, as these factories will eventually, because they will. Eventually, these factories, it will not make business sense for them to be here. It will make business sense for them to be in Kenya. Because, so we are providing the connection that will finally get us moving. We will be having a conversation with the manufacturing entities later this year. We have the Business Summit, German-Africa Business Summit in Nairobi in December, where again we will be discussing collaboration between the business entities in Germany and the business entities in Kenya, connecting the chambers of commerce between our two countries. I know we have the representative of the Chamber of Commerce right in our midst here, and looking at what opportunities we can explore together. So it is in this context that I am today in this great city of Berlin. Of course, aside from the fact that I also got an opportunity after President Steinmeier put a call to me early this year. I remember it was in the afternoon. And he asked me, Mr. President, we want Kenya to be the first country outside Europe to be the profile country in our Citizens Festival. It was a great recognition for our country. And I said, okay, it's an opportunity for us to come and showcase Kenya, showcase our talent, showcase our culture, showcase our music, showcase our creative economy. And I'm very happy with the collaboration and what I saw yesterday. It is a moment for us to celebrate as a country. It is one thing I'm very proud of, that we have managed to build a very positive profile globally for Kenya. And today, many people in the world see Kenya from a different point of view. So to you guys who are in Germany, you are our best ambassadors. They say East-West, home is best. And when actually the question came in the press conference yesterday, and there was this perception that, oh, maybe the Kenyans who will come to Germany, they will refuse to go back to Kenya. I told them we have a very beautiful country. We have a very beautiful country. And we are very proud of our home. And so nobody should mistake the fact that we are sharing our talent with the rest of the world. Nobody should have any mistake that we have a home. And we are very proud of our country. So we will do what we have to do, not just in Germany, but in all the other places in the world. But we know that finally we have a home to go back to. So otherwise, let me stop there. I do not want to monopolize this meeting. Let me stop there and to say I'm very happy to be here. My apologies that yesterday we were not able to make it to the meeting because I think there was a scheduling problem. We arrived here, I think 3 hours late, and therefore we had to push back some of the items because I was on the schedule of the leadership of this country. But I did tell Ambassador here that we must find a way of remedying the thing we didn't manage to do yesterday. I remember I met some gentleman at the festival and he asked me, so Mr. President, what's going to happen tomorrow? Can we schedule the meeting? I remember that. I've seen that guy somewhere here. Oh yeah, here. Yeah, so I told him I'm looking forward and we will reschedule it for tomorrow. And I'm very happy that we are having this meeting. And thank you very much for your understanding. Asante sana. So I'm told some good people here have a few, maybe they want me to respond to 1 or 2 issues. Maybe start the gentleman there. Or maybe before I do that, just out of respect, maybe I can ask former Prime Minister, who is a beneficiary of education in this country, to just make some few comments.
This is an ambush. Oh, guten Morgen. Wie geht's euch? Good. Thank you very much. You know, I live in this country as a young person. I studied here. Therefore, I understand German culture and city very well. I know Witze, Deutsche Witze. So, but I'm coming here basically because you know that I'm running for the chairmanship of African Union. And that's why our trip here has coincided. But then I was also very happy to have the opportunity to see so many young people here living in Deutschland. And I know the kind of challenges that people face in living here. So when I arrived here, I was a very young boy, and it was in winter. And when we arrived, I saw the trees. I thought all these trees are dry because there are no leaves. I just thought that all these trees are just dead. Until spring came. But that was one of the coldest winter. For the last 50 years, there has never been a winter like that one. And it lasted until May, so that institutions ran out of coal. Those were using coal at that time. They're not coming with the steam heating and now electric. So a number of institutions were closed because of that. And we would actually go and get coal, we packed and we take it in the oven, we light the oven so that we get the room to be a bit warm and happy to